and then we will go to each verse but before that, let us see the 18th verse, and I'm just giving you those ideas for you to contemplate. So you see the 18th verse, it says, disciplined mind is established in the self alone. So now think of the questions. It means the undisciplined mind cannot merge into the self. And what exactly is the undisciplined mind? It is wandering everywhere outside, searching for peace, managing the pain, managing the relationship, and millions and millions of problems at the physical, mental, and emotional level. Why it is running after, why we say that it is undisciplined mind? It is longing for objects of desire outside. So that is the message. So seeker is achieved through yoga. So means true yoga here. Yoga means another meaning. It here means it is meditation. So what it says, the true meditation is achieved when the mind is completely absorbed in the self. How it can be absorbed? Oh, transcending the mind, transcending all the material desires. And then I'm just translating in a different way. So how do I have to transcend? By force? Not possible. By detachment, by removing the delusion. I'm adding some of the words that I'm going to explain you all the 5 verses together. Oh, so...
Oh, do you have... I had a... Maybe it's not relevant. I had a question, but maybe I'll save it for the end.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
So just raise questions. Now you are a great seeker. So in the 19th verse, we see he gives us the metaphor. He says, as a lamp in a windless place does not flicker. Raise the questions. As is the space influenced by the wind? Answer is no. The space is not influenced by the wind. So that is why we say windless. Windless means the mind is not running after any thought, feeling, and emotions, and the past impressions, and the prarabdha. Oh, that much of discipline I need. Yes, that much of discipline I need practicing. Why I need that? So that this mind merges into the self. Why the mind should merge into the self? Because if the mind is not merging into the self, mind will continue to live in the Trinity. Now I'm going to the Patanjali. What do you mean by Trinity? The object, subject, and the knowledge between it. So that is what we say, meditator, object of meditation, and the very process in between them. Mind divides itself into 3. So as long as it keeps on dividing itself, disintegrating itself, it is still wandering mind, jealous mind, likes mind, dislikes mind. So it means What is the opposite in Eastern wisdom? A steady mind. So we have to be very clear about these terminology. The analogy of a steady flame illustrates the calm and the focused state of a seeker's mind during deep meditation. It is not that, my mind is steady in the world outside, obviously, because if I'm obsessed with eating pasta, so mind is already focused on the pasta. So here what we are talking in during the practice of meditation, it is a windless, steady. That is what the master is saying. Because of that level of awareness, because of that level of self-absorption, we can reach to a higher state of meditation, ready to transcend the mind, or you can say self-absorption, or you can say samadhi, the higher meditative state. Is
it similar to, but not, so with a stage prior to that, I always compare the full moon, and that's right. The moon is the mind reflecting the sun's, right? But we shouldn't mistake the moon's light as the sun, right? So is the mind so can we experience the self reflected in the mind?
Yes, and that what happens, that as long as some entity is reflecting or is knowing the real self, obviously we say that the real self is reflected in the mind. Obviously, that is also deeper state of meditation. But even that moonlight comes to an end, because there is a realization that this light is coming from the sun. The real self is the consciousness which is reflecting the mind, and it has become a reflected medium. So even that meditation, that medium is no more present in the meditation. That is one of the highest state of meditation. Why it? Then the 21st verse, it says you have an experience of infinite bliss or permanent happiness. Oh, permanent happiness. So that permanent happiness is reflected in the mind, and the mind is fully aware. It is the objectless state, and that is one attribute of the real self is experienced. Once you experience, you cannot go back. What it means, it is irreversible process. So I'm using this irreversible process in this verse only. I will talk in detail. The highest state of meditation brings a profound, the verse says, brings a profound inner satisfaction. We discussed that we have three kinds of satisfaction, which the Krishna will talk in the 7th or 8th chapter. Rati, Tripti, Tushti. Rati, the pleasure that we get from all the objects of the five sense organs. Then he classified Tripti. Yeah, Tripti means by eating the food, the pleasure that we get. And the Tushti, I'm very happy because I have all the possessions. So the mind runs after the possessions because of happiness. Mind runs after the food to have the happiness, and mind runs after these sensual pleasures. Whether somebody says I'm a fan of Beyonce, or fan of Trump, or fan of whatever, say Biden, or whatever it is. So that that disturbs the mind. Even though I consider it is not disturbing me, I have taken a decision. Okay, you have taken a decision. How you have taken a decision? Because of your impulsive nature, because of your programming, because of your likes and dislikes. Oh, it means I have to get rid of the entire likes and dislikes. Yes, then only you can be absorbed. Then only you can have the inner satisfaction. How can you have that inner satisfaction? As long as you are still feeling that I'm happy and satisfied by doing something, by this object, by this person, by this relation, that is very, very important. So
It was, I was going to bring up yesterday, one of these new age people, yogi, whatever they claim to be, she was telling me, yes, I can help you, or I can help people know their past life, right? And I can show you in your past life. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, even if you showed me my past life, all that was is that, false self in a different phase or a different structure of, past impressions and gunas. And I said, it's still another false I, right? You're just showing me this false I is as false as the one before in the previous life. So all you would be showing me is that, incarnation or whatever you want to call it, not incarnation, but, embodiment, right? It has the self, the past, there was no past self, and I was thinking the mind creates time. So like only the false self even accounts for time, right? So the whole notion of it just kind of, I thought if what I think is true, then that's sort of a silly conversation in almost every way, right? I mean, so there is no past life for the self.
What he said?
Completely
blown away.
Way too much, right? Yeah, I just dropped it after
you
that.
See
I could tell there was no...
You see how Krishna says that you are born. Yes, you had a past life. Self was constant in the past life, it is the same. The self is the same in the present life, and if I have a future life, the self will remain the same. Now, if I happen to know what happened in my previous life, how it is going to help me to find the real self?
Right? They're not related. They're not relevant.
They are not. They are irrelevant totally. They are totally irrelevant. And now you see, once your mind believes, or I would say, understands this principle, you are free. Even not only you are free from the previous life, you are free from what happened yesterday. Let us move forward, march forward, evolve, raise my awareness. That is the message given to us by the masters, but we take a different turn and then we fall back into this kind of a delusion. So in the 22nd verse, the master says, if there is an absorption, you find the inner satisfaction, you have transcended the mind. Master says there is a supreme gain. What is that gain? One thinks that there is no greater gain. Being settled in it, one is not moved even by the greatest sorrow at the physical, mental, emotional level. This is your ultimate attachment. It means what he wants to convey, that by the highest state of meditation, we now awaken to the real self. We awaken to the real self. This is in the 22nd verse. And the 23rd verse, again he stresses, now that sorrow and the suffering comes to an end. sorrow and suffering comes to an end, it means that now I will have no pain in the body. Who says this? You are not the body. You have realized that you are the real self. The body has to follow the universal law. But one thing is there, because all the sins are dissolved, but the body is subjected to the universal law, the sickness and the health. It has a birth. What is created, it will have to leave. Now, what is the greatest awareness? When I realize that I'm not the body, so where is the birth and where is the growth and where is the death? I
thought a past life could only be, you could only believe in that if you believed
you are the body,
right?
You are the body.
Yeah, if you're the body, it makes sense. If you're not the body, it's a pointless conversation. So I think that's kind of where I was thinking.
Yes. So once I have a realization and awareness that I'm not the body constantly, after the deeper, higher meditation, now then where is the birth? Where is the growth? Where is the old age? Where is the death? That is one way. Another testimony that when Buddha got enlightenment or Jesus got enlightenment, did they stop sleeping? Did they stop eating? Did their body remain? It did not become old? No. 89 or 90 years of the Buddha left the body. Same thing with the Jesus. So the universal law, what I am not, what exactly is created, what is constantly changing, will follow its own course. Depending on your past impressions, that will be totally exhausted in this life. Finished. So it means that I'm completely free from the sorrow. I have total disconnection from the sorrow. Sorrow is related to the body-mind complex. Body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. Because as such, there is no sorrow in the real self. In the real self. Now looking into this, all the 5 verses, I'm making it very simple. Very simple. So we will see the inner landscape, a deeper journey into the meditation. So just think, what is the goal of the Eastern wisdom? It is an end of suffering and realizing my real self. You can use a different phrase, awakening to the real self, awakening to my true nature, and connection to the entire, or you can say connection. The moment we awaken, we are already connected to the universals. What exactly the master is conveying, that we need to understand in a very simple way. What is that understanding? Understanding is awareness, understanding is knowledge, understanding is perception. That is also clear. Oh, it means that awareness of the state of meditation, yes. Awareness of meditative state, yes. Awareness of meditation, I am doing by an effort. And awareness of a meditation or meditative state without any effort. Oh, so I should have an awareness of perception. So this awareness of perception can only come if I purify the mind. Otherwise, the mind will be distracted. If I discipline the mind. Think. So first point is that awareness of perception or awareness of experience or awareness of knowledge. I recognize that our knowledge is limited, helps us to seek clarity beyond conditioned belief. What I said? I said that there are many perception by the mind that is influenced by the senses, by the past impressions, by belief, by my upbringing. I have to drop all that. I have to recognize, I have to explore, and I have to drop that. So that is first. So different topics are explained in these 5 verses. Meditation, we use the meditation as a tool. So I engage in meditation every day without fail to check my level of perception. Is it rise in consciousness or is it fall in consciousness? And how can I recognize it? Fall in consciousness is a limitedness. Fall in consciousness, I'm not able to continue for a longer period of meditation. Whatever the meditation I'm doing, just take it that way in the beginning. Now, what is happening in meditation? You are doing meditation and the mind wanders to a person whom with you are attached. Maybe say 5 times today. You are doing tomorrow. It is now 4 times. Day after 3 times. Again 1 time. Now another day you are practicing meditation. Now what happens? That thought comes, but then you are detached. Even the thought is there, but you are detached. Oh, detached, so dispassion. Is that a higher state of meditation? Answer is yes. It is a higher state of meditation because it is detachment from the external influences. Now the first time you recognize what it means by stepping back from the chaos of daily life, from the past impressions, from the pleasure, from the attachment, from the duality. Body is still there, mind is still there, but now mind is able to get rid of all those objects and experiences and emotions, detachment. So now what is happening to the mind? Mind is transforming itself. Mind is evolving. When you say that the mind will be absorbed into the real self in the highest meditation, what is the fun of detachment and discernment? Without detachment and discernment, it will not happen. That merger will not happen. I'm explaining all the 5 verses in a totally different way. Oh, yes, yes. So it means what? I have to understand the mind during every practice of meditation. What do you mean by understanding the mind? Oh, understanding the mind, its nature, its habit, its impulses, its pleasure-seeking ideas, what it is doing, whatever it is doing. When? Not only during the practice of meditation, but also during the daily activities. Now I'm also picking up the 19th verse in a different way. Imagine a person who perceives criticism as a personal attack. By recognizing that this perception or this attack is influenced by my past experiences. They can reframe criticism as a constructive feedback. So I'm not influenced and dictated. I'm just talking about the core principles and then I'll make it much lighter. Oh, so criticism, definitely. I don't like Eric, so hence whatever you say, I will take it as a personal attack. I like him, so I will take it as a good suggestion from a friend. Oh, so I have to get rid of that likes and dislikes. That is already present in the mind as a past impression so that I can remain detached in a daily life situation. Do you see? This is what the 5 verses talks totally in a different way. It's very deep. A traveler who views a crowded marketplace. Now see that. There is another, I will give you my personal example also. So a traveler who views a crowded marketplace as overwhelming. I see it is overwhelming, can learn to appreciate the vibrant life present all around me. So I just shifted my perception. So when I shift my perception, it becomes an opportunity. These these movements of the mind are required in the journey of higher meditation practice. Meditation is a tool. I practice meditation daily. The time comes, now the meditation invites me to sit and don't skip. So it means that kind of an inner satisfaction. I'm getting some pulses, some vibes of my inner satisfaction. Oh, let us leave it and let us do. Now, in the same journey, I was explaining in the morning in the set, there is a, let us see in a different way. You wake up in the morning, you are calm in peace. And then you meet a person and the mind is now reactive. That person has left you. And now that reaction continues to stay throughout the day. If you are busy, you forget that reaction, and again in the evening, those thoughts and impression returns. One situation. It means I'm not progressing into meditation. Second option. You meet the same person, there is a reaction. Next moment, that reaction is converted into a response. No, I'm sorry, it is just, it is my misperception and it is gone. And you have erased that impression from your mind. That indicates a progress in the meditation.
This is somewhat relevant, and I noticed this week, which is funny, I had a meeting with a friend who I've known my whole life, but I haven't seen him in years. And I was having a conversation with him, and I realized I'm kind of being the person that used to know him, right? So I was bringing sort of that past forward to have that conversation with what I probably saw, which was the same human being that I knew 20 years ago, right? So he probably showed up his way and I showed up my way, and we were having like an old meeting, so to speak. And then I started to think about it, and I thought, how many conversations do we show up with this whole baggage of who we're going to be in that conversation, how we're going to react, based on the setting, the person, and I thought, imagine showing up with a clean slate to every conversation. What a spontaneous, magical way to be, right? That would make every interaction a joy, as opposed to just a totally different way. But I've had a lot more insights these days into my own behavior, but from a third party perspective. But I thought I could see myself saying, how strange, I'm being the person that he would know, right? I just brought forward that. And then I started looking at it I don't have an identity at all. Every conversation I have is based on the role I'm in or the situation, right? None of those are me. At what point in the day am I ever me? And I thought, I guess when I'm alone in contemplation, maybe is when I'm in my state as the closest reality to myself, which is no individual at all, right? There is nothing there, no personality, or
I'm going into
kind of a profound way.
Yeah.
It felt like a
you got it. Yes.
Whoa, that was.
You're getting into that, I just make it a point that I think, speak, and act out of peace and happiness with every person whom I meet, whom I communicate. So what I'm saying, I think, speak, and act out of the peace and happiness. So what is going to happen? The focus of the mind is inside, whether this mind is coming out of the peace and happiness, one, and it is not influenced by the past impressions. It is not influenced by what happened in the past, how I perceive that person. How I perceive that person. I said sorry to myself in the situation. A couple recently chose to divorce. They are very close to me. So the women informed me we are now parting the ways. And you will be amazed that they both used to approach me individually, secretly, that please don't tell my partner. This is the problem. So I was just extending that relationship together. Now what happened? One of the partner virtually fought with me. And one partner, then they did not allow others to talk to me for about 4 or 5 months. And now the result is the divorce. So I was asking myself that why should I have interfered. I said it is US, it is America, you cannot interfere. In India, I should have done it. I should have entered forcibly. Why you are not talking to me? So I
think of that in my own situation, that if I'm avoiding, for instance, our interaction, then I'm obviously doing something that I know better, right? So I think I don't want to hear it.
Oh, yes, you stopped complete communication. I said, what happened to this guy?
I think a lot of people must do that, oh, I know he's going to tell me what I don't want to hear right now. So it's interesting. Yeah.
So I said sorry to myself yesterday, and I said, but I said that is the way the life is. Prarabdha. What is destined, it has to happen. So what can I do? Yes, if they approach me, I will approach. I have no problem. I have no regret. I will not feel whether they have not approached me for a couple of months. So that is what is very important principle by this example is the detachment from the external influences. Maybe the guy in a society is known very close to you but doesn't talk. Thank you. I am still ready. I will approach you, but if you don't respond, I am okay. I normally approach once in I see, oh, what has happened? So that will help you to evolve yourself and transform yourself completely. So you are not experiencing any kind of a setback. So one of her other friend told me that it's a big setback. I didn't respond. I said, what kind of a setback it is? It may happen in my life also if my partner chooses that way, even if I don't choose. Everyone is independent. Oh, so yes, so that ultimately it comes to understanding the mind, its nature, its different states. So we have 5 objective states of the mind, we have 5 subjective states of the mind, we have 2 categories of the mind that is known as the pure and the impure mind. We have a mind that is dictated, that is governed by only the impulses. We have a mind that is governed by the impulses plus my past impressions. We have a mind that is governed, influenced by the impulses plus my past experiences plus the prarabdha plus the desire. I have still the mind which can be governed by the discernment and dispassion. Now I'm making it very or more easier to look at it so that we can become aware. Our perception. What is perception? It is awareness. What is awareness? It is knowledge. What is knowledge? It is experience. Just take it that way to have a clear understanding. Perception, awareness, knowledge, experience. So that we can move further into the next step. So our perception of the world is limited first by the sense organs, then by the mind, then by the past experiences, then by the impulses. What it means? Why? All knowledge include perception, experience we have are influenced by the sense organ. Or what color Eric has? White color. Influenced. How he talks, influenced by the mind. How he looks like, how he sounds like. You see, sense organs. But then how, he is a wonderful person. But how come you say that one is wonderful and one is not? Because of the likes and dislikes, because of your past impression. From where the past impression has come? Because of your intention in this particular life. So the guy is not entering into the meditation. So should I say that he is a crazy guy? No, he doesn't want to bring an end to the suffering? No. It comes from his prarabdha. Intellectually he may understand, but he does not want to follow it. So you see, whether you say awareness, your knowledge, your experience, your perception is influenced by the senses, by the mind, by the past impressions, by the prarabdha or destiny, or all those accumulated. But why I say that we are influenced like this? Real self is all pervading, eternal, it is the absolute truth, and any instrument that can realize that real self should also be infinite and all pervading. So just check Are the senses unlimited? No. My eyes cannot hear the sound. My ears cannot see the form. So all these exclusive sense organs, they are limited to their respective objects. And that indicates their limitation. How a limited instrument can discover the infinite real self. So we use this easy logic. Oh, you are crazy. Oh, you are crazy, yes. Oh, so it means you are labeling the body of that person as a crazy. No, 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 I'm talking about his mind. Oh, so have you seen his mind inside? No, but I know by the thoughts. Don't stretch it. Stop this nonsense. Tell your mind.
But I thought about like a criminal or somebody. I was like, you can go from a rich, successful person,
Yeah,
because you're behaving like one, and then you might be in prison,
yes,
because you behaved like a criminal, right? But I realized like all those things are not that the person never changed, his behavior changed, therefore his life outcome changed, but the core of the human has yet is always the same. And I saw that in some people were, oh man, I wish I was how I used to be, or rich or poor, and I thought, oh, what they're not understanding is they never left. Right?
yes,
They've
yes.
been there the whole time, and they're still there, and like that's something to be grateful, right? You can't really say any of it, but I can see it.
Your life experiences and you perceive the world through these principles will give you an idea. I still remember, if I don't mistaken, there is a Rakesh Gupta who was extremely close to and still close to Bill Gates, Indian guy who earned hundreds of millions of dollars. He did one mistake in the stock, and that was recorded by the FBI, and he was sent to prison for 25 years. Now the Bill Gates came and he appealed even to the judge that, look, Mr. Gupta has donated hundreds of millions of dollars for the charity for taking care. The judge said these two incidents are separate, and he is still serving his life prison time. So you see, when you look at these experience, you look at and read it, understand it, then you see that I cannot link that I have paid you $10,000 with my criminal activity.
Oh, I was just telling a friend of mine, he was complaining about his wife, and I said, he's like, man, I've done this and this all these years, and I said, she's not mad about that. She's mad about what you did right now, and in this moment you're wrong, right? And she's upset, and you can't use all of that.
Yeah.
You can't say, yeah, but I wash your car every Sunday. That's not going. They're not the same thing. They're like this, right?
So what we
deal with reality.
Deal with what we are doing. What we see, we perceive, we experience. My master used to give the very beautiful example. He says that a person, a young guy who was a great flute player, he was a great player. At the same time, he was a thief. So one person looks him as a thief. The second person, because who is deeply interested in the music, or how beautiful he plays the flute. I love this guy. The other guy says, I hate this guy, he's a thief. The guy is the same. Now, we are not going to the guy. I have to look into my mind, how you are analyzing this. It is based on your past impression. And what about the real self? The real self cannot be changed. Real self cannot be changed.
It's interesting on the seeking path when you start to not only know that, but there's no other way to know it.
No.
It becomes truth in like a way that you could argue with me all day, and I would say, nope, I know. I know for sure in my deepest part of me that that's true.
That's true.
Which is a totally different, unassailable position. And not that you want to debate with anyone, but you just inside you know.
You debate so with your own mind. So when you are debating with your own mind and you are dropping those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and past impressions which are not relevant and conducive to meditation, you are basically practicing meditation. And when you enter into a natural state, these thoughts are not at all influencing you, they are passing. They come and they go. Just like a car went by blowing its horn. It has come, it has gone. You are not at all affected. So there are two parts of the meditation, broadly speaking. One is you practice meditation. And other is a non-practice. So non-practice results into an awakening. Practice will help you eliminate, sharpen the mind, evolve, rise in consciousness, you progress. This is what these 5 verses speaks of in a different way. He has compressed almost, I would say, 50 sutras of Patanjali from the 3rd chapter and from the 1st chapter. So I have to now, what is happening, what we are exactly understanding and doing. I'm recognizing the limitations of mental knowledge, the knowledge perceived and experienced by the mind. And any experience from today and from now onward enters into my mind, the first thought that comes to my mind, it is limited. Why? Because it is experienced by the mind. So I take it in a healthy way. Oh, that Mr. X is crazy. Thank you, my mind. Oh, that guy is wonderful. Thank you, my mind. Thank you. I'm neither attached nor detached with it because all the experiences are taking place in the mind and the mind is limited. There is the limitation of the mental knowledge and I'm searching for the real self. So what is going to happen? You are loosening that area, unconscious area of the mind where it is sticking too much. It gives you too much of pain or it makes your mind fall into unconsciousness. We fall into unconsciousness if I'm deeply attached and obsessed with any person. Or the same thing happens if I'm deeply detached with any person. So I have a mode of reaction. I have a mode of response. That is very important. Self-discovery demands what it demands. Leave all and enter into perception beyond. I'm making a phrase. So it means, let me play a game. Whatever you talk about it, whatever experiences you pour into my mind, I will reject it. And I want to see what is left. So what is left? That is where the meditation enters. That is why the masters have created the different steps of, this is the name of this meditation, this is the name of this meditation. That is what the 5 verses talks about it. So what demands? Self-discovery self-discovery demands leave all. Leave what all? All that is happening in the mind. Good, bad, high, low, past, future, present, projection, delusion, etc., etc., etc. How do I understand the delusion? From the mind, attachment from the mind, discernment from the mind, dispassion from the mind, uh, um, likes from the mind, dislikes from the mind. So mind, I'm aware of it that you are the greatest guy. You have all these experiences. I'm not interested. Can I say easily? Can I live into that awareness and perception? I can really transcend my mind. This is what the Master is speaking in a very generic manner. Oh, that is what the Master is seeking about. Regular. Now, he is also pointing out, he has all disciplined mind in the very beginning. He says regular practice of meditation must take place in the life of his seeker. Today you may not succeed, today you fail, no problem. Tell your mind, either today in the evening I will do it, tomorrow I have to do it. There is no issue that I will skip it. I have a pain in the body, let me do it. Let the pain help me to learn the detachment. I told you, my master, I asked it, why the hell you wake up at 2 and from 2 to 4 and 5 you are sitting in meditation. You have already reached. He said, I have reached. That's not a problem. Then why you do it? So why I am eating food? Should I stop eating food because I'm awakened? Should I stop going to the restroom because I'm awakened? Should I stop talking to you because I'm awakened? When I'm performing those universal activities which must be done throughout the life, why shouldn't I use this as one more activity? Let me do it. So that influence, this statement and this talk influenced me so much, deeply, that I never left. Perhaps, no, yes, not perhaps. I would say as the moment I stepped into the United States and until today, I never left my 2 or 3 hours in some time. Tomorrow, yes, tomorrow is my day. I don't wait even for, so I continue to sit. So what will happen? You will understand the nature of the mind. So how you understand the nature of the mind? By the practice of meditation. How we practice the meditation? By mantra, by breathing, by image of the God, by looking into the space. There are 100. So what is the focus in the very beginning? The object of meditation. The object of meditation. Say, for example, Ramakrishna. You have read something more about the Ramakrishna and his practice of meditation on the goddess Kali. So there is an object, I meditate, my mind is fully absorbed into that object or image. First step. Now I'm breaking up into now what happens into the second step, because the mind, yes, what happens when you are absorbed, that is what we are doing in Om Namah Shivaya. So when your mind is absorbed by regular practice with clarity, with discernment, your mind, I'm using this statement again, I'm stressing it, your mind starts revealing the qualities and attributes of the Shiva into your own mind. kindness, peace, love, wisdom, and your mind expands. That is another higher step of meditation. Or something happens from the God, I would say yes, because you started with understanding that.
That's funny you say that, because one meditation I said, I realized Shiva is like a state of consciousness,
Yeah.
right? And to absorb into that state, you discover these things, like you said, during meditation, and then the rest of the day to me is a whole another practice. But the meditation portion is, let me go look into this, what's happening. I see it.
So when we say discipline the mind, when we say focus the mind, when we say concentrate the mind, it is only to lose the surface identity of the subject and the object. That means the meditator and the object of meditation. That is why we want to focus. Why? Once they become one, the mind will reveal the knowledge powers, even the powers associated with that God, with that image. That is why our Pope and the priest who contemplate and reflect on the Jesus, they get the traits of a Jesus. They don't get the trait of Krishna. We have to be very clear. If you are, but yes, why we choose Shiva? Why you have to Shiva? We say Shiva does not have parents. So I have an understanding in the mind that lives constantly that Shiva is uncreated. Oh, so uncreated, what is created? It belongs to Prakriti, it belongs to past impressions, it belongs to matter. Okay. So I keep on focusing on the image of the Shiva with the mantra. Oh, it is uncreated. So now this mind is revealing that knowledge inside me. It takes me to the higher consciousness. This is what.
That's kind of like you said. You said Brahma, even Brahma dies, right?
Yeah. Even the Brahma.
When I thought about that, I was like, oh yeah, because most God is like the creation happening, and that comes to an end. So beyond that,
we have to be very clear about it. So the greater the clarity, and then when you have a clarity, you are able to dissolve your attachment, your detachment, your reaction, your response, your fear, your anxiety. Brahma has to die. Vishnu has to die. Krishna has to die. All our great masters, they died. Ramakrishna, Jesus, and the Buddha. But we are saying in a very literal sense that they left the body. They are already awakened. They know what it means by the death. So we are talking in that term.
I have to run right at time because I have to pick up Sophia, so I have to run here in a second.